Yeah, so let's see. Good morning. Monday morning, 10 o'clock again. Let me quickly see. It should work. I just wanted to see if you can hear me and see me. Please just write a yes into the comments so that I'm sure that the technique today is working. Not like on Friday. See, I just need to scroll down. Friday we had no electricity. They just switched it off for the whole day. So my Get Funded workshop was technically not possible. So yes, I can see me already on Facebook. Let me quickly see if I can hear me. Yeah, all is working. Great. So good morning, everybody. And I see already we have some visitors. Great. So what I want to do today is I want to give you 10 tips. What you definitely need to have in place, what you should thought about before you want to submit your loan or grant application. Doesn't really matter, okay? And these tips are also for everybody. It doesn't matter if you're a startup or if you want to apply for an extension. And there is not a big difference if you want to apply with government institutions, with enterprise development funds, with private investors. Every financier has the same requirements. Sometimes there are small little things we need to tweak, but these tips are definitely for everybody, okay, who wants to apply for funding. So number one is, we will go later on into more details, a completed business plan. If you want to apply for funding, please make sure you have a completed business plan, bankable one, which covers everything what you really need to achieve and for what you need the money for. The second part is do a market research. Hi, Kayla. Great. Thanks very much. So obviously it's working. So if you can see me and hear me, just write a hi into the comments. You also can write into the comments if you have some questions. I will always look in between to make sure that I can answer them. Okay. So, market research. Everybody thinks it's quite difficult and challenging, but it is not really. If you want to apply for funding, you need to be absolutely clear about who will be your customers. And one of the tips I always give is, let's say you want to manufacture, I don't know, washing powder, okay? And you want to sell it to the big corporate shopping, to the big retailers. Sorry, I totally lost my thoughts because let me see. No, everything is working. So if you think, okay, you're manufacturing, you want to manufacture washing powder, you want to sell to the big retailers, what do you do now? You set up appointments, you go to some of these big retailers, and you hide it as a market research and say, hey, I want to set up my own washing powder manufacturing. It will be, let's say, biodegradable, will be in 1 kg packages, and we will sell it to you for 10 Rand, and you are able to sell it then for 15 Rand a kg. I'm just playing now with numbers. I'm not too sure if these are realistic numbers, but some around that. Yeah. And then what happens is the retailer will be able, number one, to say, okay, let me tell you what 15 Rand a kg is for biodegradable washing powder is not going to work. We've got something in store. We tried that before and they were cheaper and it didn't work. Or they say the profit margin is not high enough. We need a higher profit margin. Or they say that's an absolutely great idea. I like this. I know this is what our customers want. And maybe you can get even some offtake agreements out of them. And then the retailer will say, you know what? We need this. We would like to try this. We will order in the beginning with you a couple of, I don't know, 2, 3, 400 kgs or 400 packages of the specific washing powder, and they are able to give you some offtake agreements. Yeah. Do the market research, and let me tell you, this is nothing where you can think, oh, I'm doing only 1 or 2 visits. That's not happening. You need to be really determined. You need to find out who's really your market. Maybe the big retailers are not your market and you need to go to smaller retailers or independent retailers. Yeah. So this market research, I always recommend do that on your own. Find your niche market, position yourself well, and listen to the feedback. I see that lots of times that people say, yes, they say this, but I don't believe that. Listen to it. They know the market. I'm not saying if one person says and 3 people say something differently, you should listen to what the one person said. But because you need to talk to lots of people and check the market out, see if people are willing to pay for this specific product, if there's even a need for this specific product, then you know you're on the right track. Because what you want is you want to set up yourself for success. And that means that there are enough people out there, they will buy your product. Okay, so financial models. This is something where lots of people really struggle. It needs to be usually okay, so we are back on, I hope. Let me quickly see. So Zoom is working, should be back on live. Okay. Let me quickly write down there. Okay, so sorry for the interruption. I don't know, out of a sudden I had no internet here. And mine should be really, really stable. So, okay, I'm not too sure when I really lost you. Let me quickly recap. So market research, absolutely important. Talk to potential buyers, and my advice is listen to them. Whatever they give you as a feedback, don't go there and say something. Ask questions. Ask questions. What do you think? Is this the right product? Are there people interested in something like this? What is your experience? Ask them the questions. Yeah, because they will not share with you any insights if you are not asking questions, because they don't really know what you want to know. Okay, so financial models, absolutely important, should be in Excel. There are some free templates out there if you can do that on your own. If you say, oh, that's definitely something what I don't want to do, but I've done everything else, we are also more than happy to assist you with financial models and will charge you only for that part. We do 5 years financial forecast. It's including some charts and all the relevant requirements for the financiers are included. If you do a financial forecast, most government institutions for smaller amounts expect 3 years financial forecasts up to 1.5 million rand. You should be able to repay it in 3 years. Everybody else will expect a 5-year financial forecast. And even if you want to repay the loan in 10 years, 5 years forecast is definitely sufficient enough. Because after 5 years, whatever we do in the forecast is really more thumb sucking than everything else. We have a high inflation rate here in South Africa. Okay, in comparison to Germany, of course, not in comparison to the rest of the world. So that means 5 years forecast is realistic. After that, it definitely will be difficult to foresee the future. Okay, next hint is what we talked about already in the market research. Talk to potential customers and see, maybe you have already some customers. Make sure that you have some testimonials or confirmation that you can do what you want to do, that you are experienced if you are already an existing company and want to apply for expansion capital. Next part, what should be definitely covered, is your skills and experience. If you want to start a farm, and I'm always joking and say, hey, nobody would give me any single cent for becoming a farmer because all my plants are dying. I'm absolutely clueless. I have no idea. I know, of course, that I need to water them and that I need to take care of them. But how to do that, I don't know. And if you, whatever you want to start, whichever business you want to start, please make sure that you have experience and the required skills. If you want to start, let's say, chemical, like the washing powder manufacturing I mentioned before, you don't need to know all aspects of this big setup, okay? So don't worry about it. So you don't need to be the person who knows how to produce the washing powder, the person who can sell, the person who's able to manage, or the financial manager of this company. You need to show, okay, this is my expertise, these are the other positions and skills I will require, and I will hire the relevant people to do that for me. So if you want to start with your own business, it is most of the government institutions and everybody else requires some sort of collateral. That means if you want to invest in your startup 1 million rand, they usually require 10% from you. And that means you need to have 100,000 rand. The government institution will finance the other 900,000 rand. They want to see that you believe in your idea, that you are really standing behind it, and that you are not giving up even if it gets a little bit difficult. So you need to make sure that you have some sort of collateral. Some people tell me, Dagmar, I don't have any collateral. I said, don't worry. Think about maybe there you can get access to enterprise or supplier development funds from corporates if it is in their scope of work and can be interesting for them. figure out if there are some family or friends interested in investing. You think about your customers. Maybe they say your idea is so great, I will back you up, and I'm more than happy to have some shares in your company. Or maybe you're asking your suppliers to assist you. But you see, these people will only do that if they really believe in you, if they know you have the expertise, if they know you have the skills. Okay, so next, point number 8, marketing. Don't go overboard in the beginning with marketing. Think about the brand you want to do, how to position yourself, who are your clients and your customers, so that it is really round and fits. Your colors, your pictures will be different if you target teenagers than if you think about you want to target older people. The music, maybe the colors, the fonts, everything will be different. So make sure you are absolutely clear about. Let me tell you in the beginning, don't waste too much money onto this. You first need to really get some traction in the market, earn some money, and then you can fine tune it. But be clear about your market, your target market, and make sure everything fits together so that this target market really feels they are talking to me. Yeah. If you want to apply for funding, please just don't go out there and say, you know what, I need round about R1 million. Nobody will finance something like this. You need to be absolutely clear about for what you need the money. Have some quotes and quotations and say, okay, I need 100,000 Rand for equipment. I need, I don't know, 240,000 Rand for setting up my office. I need 200,000 Rand to manufacture the first, I don't know, for 200,000 Rand, 1,000 kgs of my washing powder, and I need to buy the raw material, I need to buy the packaging, and then maybe also you need some working capital because you also need to deliver that. Break it down so that the potential financier really sees what you want to do with the money. Okay. So, and something what I always, it's absolutely important, make sure most financiers are thinking short term. They want to see that in the first month you are start repaying your loan. That means for you one thing, you need to be as ready as possible. As soon as you get the funding, you can start. You don't have any time after you receive the funding to go out there and figure out, okay, who are my suppliers? You have no time to think about, okay, oops, now I need to find the factory where I want to produce. And then you need to think, how big does the factory even need to be so that I'm able to set up my equipment? All these things need to be in place before you're even able to apply for funding. Okay, so let me quickly go on to Facebook. I just want to see if there are any questions out there. And I also want to see, there are some participants here also in Zoom. Please, you have the possibility to write in the chat. Raymond, thanks very much. Technology is working. I'm happy about that. You can write in the chat. If you take your mouse and you scroll down, you see there is the chat room. Just click on it. You can ask me questions. Let me also go back to, there are no questions at the moment here. Oh yes, Mpiti raised the hand. Mpiti, what can I do for you? Yes, go down there and there is the chat and then you can write in the chat. Yes? Oh, yes, let me see. I just can still see that somebody just raised the hand. Okay, write in the chat, ask me the questions. Let me go back to Facebook, see if there are some questions. I want you to have the possibility. That's the beauty with these live events, you know? So people can ask questions and I'm able to answer them. Oh, my internet today is so slow. I don't know what's happening here. I can't believe that. Let me go back to Zoom. Okay. Can you list the 10 tips? I have 9 from the discussion. How do we make sure the response is real, Belinda? I don't know what you mean with this, Belinda. You mean my response, or please try again? Raymond, I just go quickly back to the list and I will mention them. Okay, there are 3. Sorry, but I'm back. Okay, so Facebook is in order. Let me quickly go back to the, okay. So 10 tips. Number 1, completed business plan. Number 2, market research. Number 3, financial models. Number 4, the difference if you need 1, 2, or 3 or 5-year plan. Number 5, absolutely be clear about your target market, your potential customers. Number 6, include clearly your skills and experience and expertise. Number 7, make sure that you have some own own collateral so that the financiers believe in you and your idea. Number 8 was regarding the marketing. Be clear about it. Who is your target market? But please don't go overboard. Don't spend hundreds of thousands on creating a brand at the moment. Test your market, get some traction, and then you can fine tune everything. Number 9 is be absolutely clear about for what you need the money. And number 10 is be ready. Be clear about that most financiers want to have their first funding back, their first repayment at the end of the first month. That means you need to be really, really ready. Okay, response from potential customers. Let me tell you, if you only talk to Belinda, I'm talking now, she wanted to know how can we make sure that the response is real. I would never ever listen to only one response or feedback, but if you talk to 5 to 10 different people and they have all or majority of them has their has a similar feedback, I would definitely listen. Okay, relevant skills only or all the knowledge you have. I would always include only relevant skills. Don't go overboard. I've seen that so many times that somebody wants to set up something and then they mentioned, okay, irrelevant information. People think, okay, is this person now really an expert in, let's say, drafting business plans? Or is she more into catering? Yeah. So you water down your expertise and skills if you list whatever you are able to do. And let's be honest, most of us are able to do different things and we have different skills. But the financier wants to be really clear about it and feel confident that this is your exceptional skill you have. Okay, Belinda is happy with this. I had included the 5-year plan under financial model. Yes, Raymond. Okay, I just wanted to to also make sure that it needs to be an Excel spreadsheet. Most financiers definitely, if they go later on into the due diligence, they will ask you for an Excel spreadsheet. They want to see which formulas you used. Okay, great. There are no questions at the moment here on Zoom. Let me quickly go on to the Facebook group. There are also no questions there. Absolutely great. So now, if you need some help and some support to apply for funding, and then please feel free to contact us. I will give you my email address, then you can contact me directly. Let me see for the ones who haven't. But most of you will have this invitation in any case through the newsletter. We will, and what we will do is we don't have one fits all. We will check where you are stuck at the moment, what sort of support you really require and need, and this is what we will offer you then, and say, okay, it makes sense to start here. Maybe you have already a business plan, then we do the review, or you don't have the financial forecast, then we can do the financial forecast with you. Sorry. And then we will pick you up where you are and say, okay. And sometimes we just also say, you can apply with, I don't know, NEF or CIFA or IDC. We will do also some small little webinars about the different institutions, and I will highlight what they usually really cover. Make sure you're not applying senseless everywhere. You need to be sure, if you want to apply for with one specific financier, that you really are qualified and that you can apply with them, because otherwise they are also stuck with lots of applications and are not getting really anywhere, and the people who are really would qualify need to wait weeks and weeks and weeks to get some feedback. Okay, thanks very much for listening. Monday morning we will be back online next week. Whoever uses the Zoom link, you can always use the same Zoom link. We don't change it, but you will also receive next week again an invitation, and maybe we just also do it like today, just send it out an hour ahead, and then you know, okay, so now you can attend. Yes, any other questions, feel free to contact us. Cindy and I will answer them, and then we enjoy the week and take care. Thanks very much. Bye.